you all today. I am doing something brand spanking new. Listen, just hold your horses because I decided to try my hand at video podcasting. And so today we're going to have another real, raw, yet relevant conversation. But we're not just going to be audio, we are also going to be video recording. So that's pretty cool. I may take some questions from the audience. And if we've got some good stuff, some good conversation going on, then we'll include that in this. So if you're listening to the audio version of Speak Up Sis Podcast, just listen, go along with the flow. Today I have invited Mr. Vino Bell. He's the author of Catch 23, and I'm going to invite him into the space to share with us some nuggets of wisdom. So I'm going to bring him on screen. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to Speak Up Sis Podcast. I'm so excited.
I am too.
You're my guinea pig today.
Yes, oink, oink, oink.
So thank you so much for being so flexible and willing to test this whole video podcasting out with me. I really appreciate it. So before we get really good into this topic, because today we're going to be talking about, is he a catch 23? And I know the people listening don't know what that's about, but just wait, y'all. Mr. Bell is about to blow your mind. So before we jump into that topic, if you will, please tell the Speak Up Sis podcast audience a little bit about who you are and what you're currently doing.
Name's Alvino Bell. A lot of people call me the Journeyman or Mr. 100. As a name that kind of describes me in a lot of ways. Just my life as a whole is, for me, I thank God for it because he's really taught me how to be who I am and discover how to be transparent and just raw truth about life. I've been doing ministry for a while, about maybe 30 years or so, and I wrote this book. This book called Catch 23. It's my second book actually. That I started writing, and you can find me pretty much anywhere. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram under Alvino Bell. I got a YouTube channel of Welcome to the Journey with Journeyman Bell. I got a Spotify account called Welcome to the Journey. So I'm pretty easy to find on a lot of social media clientele of things. So I'm really excited to be here, be a part of this Speak Up Sister talk on today.
Yes. Let me tell you, this month has been the month of men's voices here on Speak Up Sis Podcast. And so at the very beginning of the month, the very first episode of season 2 was like a reunion of sorts. I invited the 4 men who were guests in season 1 of Speak Up Sis Podcast back for the beginning of season 2. And let me tell you, we had an hour and a half worth of a conversation, 4 men and me talking about marriage, love, relationships, lust. Oh my goodness. It was crazy, but it was amazing. And then I had, let me see, 2 other gentlemen to come on with Can You Blame Me podcast, as well as Ask the Pros podcast. And we had some very candid discussions about self-care and men, and what self-care means to men, as well as parenting from his perspective. So I think that you are just going to bring a whole other kind of flavor to the conversation because, yesterday I had the virtual launch for my new book when I met him. Yay, me!
Yeah.
And that book, I share some very personal, intimate relationships that I have had in my life, some encounters that I've had with men in my life.
Uh-huh.
And so when I got a hold of your book, Catch 23, I was like, oh my goodness, I could see some of these men in
Mhm.
your book. So
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I got to have this man on to talk about what exactly is Catch 23 and to explore some of what's in your book. So talk to us a little bit about what is Catch 23.
What catch to be quite honest, when I started writing Catch 23, it was actually titled Catch 22, but then I
Mm-hmm.
realized that it was another book called that. So I said, "Well, I need another one to make 23." And that's
Uh-huh.
kind of how Catch 23 came about when you start dealing with different attributes of men before you get into relationship or even while you're in relationship for a lot of ladies, because a lot of ladies are like, what is this? I didn't marry this person. I didn't expect this kind of individual. So what is this character that maybe I know, but I need a name to tag it to it? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, if I can be honest, a lot of times we know it's something, and it's something that we probably already experienced for those that have been in relationship a while, but we don't have a name for it. And so
Right.
what Catch 23 does, it helps label you. I don't consider it more so a book. I consider it really a manual, because it's
Uh-huh.
something that you can always go back to and revisit, because, oh, wait a minute. I think I've seen this kind of person before. And you just go back to the
Right.
manual and say, oh, okay, that's what it is. This is what I need to do, and this is how I need to decide if I want to stay in this relationship, or how to work with it if I'm married to them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's
No.
kind of how. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I know. Keep going. I'm listening to you.
Oh yeah, and so that's just kind of how it started flowing, and I really was inspired. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were just kind of just talking about men, and then I started shooting off, like, you got these men out there. There's this T Jones man out there. Then you got the mountain man out there that's on the down low, and you got all these types of men that are out there. You got the lockdown man, which is one that's always in prison and things like that. And I can't list all of them right off the top, but as soon as, like, you start talking about one, I'm going to automatically know what it's linked to. And a lot of it doesn't cover every single attribute of a man, but it does deal with a lot of the main areas. The cleanup man deals with the man that knows how to work it in bed. I'm just being real. They just
Listen,
know how to work it in bed, and
I
they.
actually I pulled the book up right here. You probably can't see it because there are some little pieces that I read that I want to share and I want us to,
Yeah,
deal
yeah,
with some of this stuff.
yeah. Let's hit it.
So
Let's hit
don't even
it.
worry about it. We're gonna look at some of these character traits because I think it's really important for women to be able to recognize the
Hmm.
flag. And I was on
Absolutely.
another podcast, Dope Discussions with Erica. She's amazing. Erica Ward is the host
Yeah.
of that particular podcast, and we talked about red flags, and
Mhm.
noticing them and what to do when you notice them. But I think a lot of times women don't. It's like it's hard to deal with red flags when you don't know that's a red flag. You don't really know what you're looking for. And I
Well,
think this book
mhm.
helps you to recognize things
you,
and be
you
able to,
know, if I can say this, I'm not trying
uh-huh.
to,
No, go
but
ahead.
I think that a lot of times women see it, but
Mhm.
then when you start getting in, when women start getting involved, they have the tendency to give all to it. And the
Mhm.
one thing I encourage women is, don't let a man know all your passwords to your life. Don't
Mm.
don't give him the complete.
Passwords to your life.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you got, like, some phones, they have voice activation passwords, they have thumbprint passwords, and I used this example before about the voice recognition. And for me, the voice recognition is your voice has to be a certain tone, a certain way said it for your phone to identify that it's you. And so
Wow.
with that comes with the voice of God that comes from a man, and it
Mhm.
should sound like your daddy. And
Mm,
if you got that relationship with God and he sounds like your daddy, then that grants the access. You don't have to tell that man every question that he asks you, because a lot of men use that as an interviewing stage for life.
mhm.
And I said, you don't have to be no hypotheticals. Like, what would we be doing if I was there? No, we ain't even in no relationship. So why am I gonna put you in a play of my life and you ain't even
Mm,
trying for the part, baby? You see what
I
I'm
get it.
saying?
I
And a
get
lot
it.
and a lot of women, because women are so, y'all heal each other so well. Y'all talk to one another. Y'all can talk for hours about self healing things, but then you bring that same mindset to men and you don't get the same results. And that can
Mhm.
get frustrating because you're talking all of your heart to a man, and the more you give out and the less he give back, the more you're changing into what he wants you to be and don't
Wow.
even realize it.
This is so good. This is so good.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even know where to jump in, but I want to actually take a look at just a few
Okay.
of the catch 23 men. How about that?
Anywhere you want to go, I'm
All
open.
right.
I love talking about relationship, any part, anything.
Let's take a look at the resume man, because I have dealt with the resume man.
Hmm.
And as soon as I started reading, I was like, "Oh, this is him. This is him. I've
Hmm.
seen him before." And you say in here, uh, the resume man is always trying to sell you with his accolades and life accomplishments.
Hmm.
This man loves to brag about his achievements, the
Hmm.
things that he's been successful in, as if in an effort to convince you of what makes him a good man. What makes this a catch 23 is he is trying to get close to you using the greatness that is attached to his name. But oh, don't get it twisted and don't be too easily moved by his rewards, whether it's in the corporate world, the church, or the business sector. I'm gonna tell you what really, and you just got to continue reading to get the fullness of the resume man. But one thing that you went into and you and I talked about a little bit is you would never put the church man in your head. You wouldn't think
Hmm.
of a church guy being a resume guy. You just so when you put in there, you know, as I continue reading and you start talking about those titles that
Hmm.
people that they will use. So please listen, top that up, because you shared some stuff with me about yourself that I was floored, but I can see how, you know, even in the church,
Hmm.
titles and things like that can be used to sort of woo women into a place they really don't need to be going.
Well, let me tell you like this. A lot of the women, any color, race, I mean,
Mhm,
yeah, any race, is majority governed under their faith. Have a great
mhm,
faith system. They have a great God system in place, and most times they're looking for what's a close to or a form of godliness to their
uh-huh.
lives, and that's mostly what they get. So when the resume comes in, a lot more resume men are coming in out of the church now, because what men of the world are discovering is that women of the church are even more silly and gullible than the women of the
Mm,
world. So if I come to you with a couple of prophetic gifts, and if I come to you with where I've been, I've traveled to Africa and I'm an ambassador.
missionary trips.
Yeah, I'm an ambassador for Burger King and all of this kind of stuff that that goes on with the journey of the spiritual aspects. And they know the scripture and they're very, very And that resume man and the gifted man really fall close together. But the
Mm,
resume man spends all of his time and energy talking about what he's done, what he's done. He's very into himself. So he's really not looking for you to be his his wife. He's looking for you to be another trophy or accolade on the wall at the end
right.
of the day. You know, so
You
you just
say
go ahead.
you say these resume men will even brag on the people that they have ministered to, who they have
Absolutely.
prophesied to, and who they prayed for, like name dropping in the church, in the spirit.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely.
goodness.
Because those kind of things, those are fascinating. Now, if I can be real 100, most
Please.
women enjoy a man that knows how to handle himself.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy a man that can be. It's really a confidence that you'll mix up, and it's really arrogance that's underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like confidence because of the way they talk about it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
really an arrogance. So when they start talking about, oh, I prayed for Sister Cantaloupe and brother Tomato, all of these things, what they're doing is they're setting you up in a place that you start looking at them highly. And then for some
Mm,
women, it's an intimidating attraction that begins to
mm,
fall on them. They're intimidated by him because they start to think, well, am I good enough to be with him? But man, he's up there and he sat next to TD Jakes. And oh, he picked up TD Jakes' notes while he was preaching and all of that kind of stuff. And they get drawn into it. I'm telling you, the way the resume man paints his life, it is so like, wow, man, and
mm,
people want to be with people that are important. It's like a subconscious thing where people want to connect with people that's been somewhere and that have done something, because what that says is that you know how to handle yourself.
mm, mm.
Resume man will sell you on that. And you know what's so interesting about that is that half the stuff they are over exaggerating anyway.
Right.
It, so you really didn't sit up there with TD Jakes. You really sat on the front row.
You wasn't in the pulpit with him.
Yeah, you sat on the front row in the overflow room, bro. So
You
yeah,
weren't in the front row in the sanctuary. You were in the
yeah,
overflow.
and
But by
yeah,
the time he finishes telling you about it, you're in
you would have
awe.
you would have thought he had TD Jakes' number, email, and Facebook account in his name, everything, because that's what they do. They want to paint that picture, and then along that, they quietly try and get you to come up to that standard as well, because
Mm. So
they
wait a
want
minute.
you.
Hold on a second. So you trying to tell me that they're living in pretend land and trying to pull you up. And I
Mhm.
won't say that it's even pretend, because I believe that there are some men who do have the degrees. They
Mhm.
do have the degrees, and
Yep.
they have worked the jobs, and they have, rubbed elbows with the people. So they are tangible things.
Right.
However, when they use them to
Hmm.
get you, to make you feel
Exactly.
like there's somebody, that's an issue. So
That
so
that
there's nothing wrong with having the accomplishments,
no,
but
no.
when you're using them
Hmm.
to deceive, to get what you
Yeah.
want, that's the problem.
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's the whole gist of that. This is not in any way to discourage anybody for what they've accomplished, because
Right.
people, you're worthy of what you've accomplished. But when you take what you've accomplished and you start to make your reputation with it, the Bible
Mhm.
says that Jesus made himself of no reputation. As accomplished as Jesus was quietly in the spirit of things, he kept
Mhm.
bringing himself down. And when you're looking for the right person, you want somebody that's willing and has a servant's heart, Not that
Mm,
they do service, but they provide a servant's heart to what it is
right.
that they do. Because if I can be honest, the resume man may say I gave to charities, but he gave to charities so that he could have his name on a plaque.
Right.
You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
and there's a
It's
difference.
big difference. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
I always
absolutely.
teach when I do Speak Up Sis with Angel Charmaine, the morning show for believers. I always say it's about your heart's posture.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And so you're absolutely right. Yeah, he gives to charity, but it's not because he actually cares about the people. It's because he wants a name on that brick that's going to be in the wall in the
Yep.
new foyer, or
Yep.
name on the pew or
Yep.
something.
Exactly. And that goes in any branch of, like, a lot of people they're doing Facebook. Like, I seen a couple of memes that where people are doing Facebook Live, but they're doing it and taking pictures while they're giving to the homeless and things like
Right,
that. And you're doing it for show because you're trying to draw an audience. You're trying to
right.
draw attention to yourself, and that's what the resume man does. He says, "I need a better lighting on me." When he starts
Mm,
to when he starts to brag on things, he says, "I don't have enough lighting on me, so I need more lighting. So here's my accolades." And this is goes in the church world, this goes in the corporate world, and this is even
right,
people this is even little blowjobs that you may work alongside at work, where they get to
right,
talk about, oh, I had a dinner with boss this weekend, and he invited me to his, all of those little things. The accolades is not just predicated upon degrees with the resume man,
right.
but it's whatever he sends out in his resume.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying? It's
And
whatever.
just like a resume, he can change. You don't send the same resume to every
Mm-mm,
job interview, right? So
no,
what he can use for you, he knows how to twist that thing,
exactly.
tweak it a little bit for the next one, but it's still a bunch of stuff,
Baloney. Yeah,
accomplishments, and
yeah,
that nature.
exactly,
Oh, that's what's
exactly.
up. Okay. So that one really caught my attention. And I'm gonna tell you, when it's the first man that I visited that kept me reading, because I was like, this is true. This man, he must know what he's talking about a little bit, because this is true. So it kept me reading. And another man I want to address that I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna be nice and say 80% of women
Mm.
deal with this guy. The
Go ahead.
hardcore gangster type,
Oh,
laid back kind of guy that just doesn't really care much about life. The thug man is one that a lot of times does a lot of things the hard way in life. He lives by his own rules, by his own standards. And quite honestly, he just doesn't seem to really care a whole lot about what anybody else thinks about how he is. He does have some nice traits about him, but they are a lot of times are buried deep beneath the surface of the outer shell of the hard knocks life. The thug man tends to be considered the bad boy of all these. A lot of times, this is the one that many women go for, partially because they see the tender side in him sometimes, but the tough, rough nature is also an attractive part. Come on, bring the heat with this one. This is the thug man. Was I being nice with 80%?
yeah. You were, and I'm gonna tell you why the numbers is so high. One thing a woman wants to do is they want to feel protected by their man,
Mm,
and thug men protect their women. They
yes.
they they do it in a sense. They may beat on them, but they let everybody else know, now you can't have this. And it's that
Mm,
aggressive. It's that aggressive. Don't mess with me kind of thing that is very attractive, because the testosterone. Women love men with testosterone that can handle themselves. Thug
mhm.
men can handle themselves, and they don't need nobody else to justify them. So in some ways, women look at that as, but I see another side that can come out. And
Right.
my policy for women is never marry into a man that has potential. Marry into what you see that they already have now.
Mm.
Because potential may take 10, 15, 20 years. You don't know. It can happen tomorrow or it can happen never because it's potential. And if you marry into what you think they're going to be,
Uh-huh.
a lot of a lot of women, if I can just jump to the side, a lot of women marry men because they think that they're going to be great preachers and pastors, and they may just be deacons the rest of their life.
Brother, you're just not going to be the pastor.
Yeah, I
Sister,
mean,
you're not going to be the pastor.
potential has killed a lot of people and they find themselves married in unsatisfied relationships. And so when the woman comes and starts to see this thug guy, they for some reason women
Mhm.
think that that's a part of being a helpmeet, and that's not.
Wait a minute, hold on. How would a woman consider being with the thug man being a good help me? How does that work?
But because of the elements of I think I can help him. And
Mm,
it's not, you're not helping him, you're helping us. A help
gotcha.
me, a help me does what it takes for the marriage, not for just
Oh,
the man.
that's good.
If that makes sense.
That
And
makes
a lot of women get caught up in I need to help him come up. No, he's supposed to already be up.
mm,
He's supposed to already be in a place of leadership. He's already supposed to be in a place of vision. I tell women this: never marry a man that does not have a plan in love.
wait a minute. Never marry a man who doesn't have a plan
In
in
love.
love.
In love.
Explain.
The Bible says, John 3:16, so for God so loved the world that he
Uh-huh.
gave his only son, that whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish, but have
Right.
an everlasting life. God had a plan when it came to love.
Oh, this is
Women
good
marry
stuff.
men because they say I love. But I say, well, where's your plan? Where's your where's your plan? Because we fall in love in 1 minute and then we fall out of love in the next minute. But if you got a plan in love, if you got a direction on why you're loving, and I don't know, I just love you. No, Corinthians 13 says love is patient, kind. Love is definitive, baby. And
Oh,
it's some specifics. So if it's some specifics in love, then there's some specifics in how we should love and what
yeah.
direction our love should be going in.
Your love should have direction.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay. For those of you who, I don't know, maybe you skipped around in this podcast or whatever, and you don't know what this is all about, I'm talking to Mr. Vino Bell. He is the author of Catch 23. And today we are ending our month of men's voices by hearing from the voice of a man about some traits that women really need to pay attention to when they're out in these dating streets, because it's rough out here in these days. It is
Yes,
hard
it
out
is.
here in these
Yes, it
dating
is.
streets. You
Yes,
hear
it
what
is.
I'm telling you?
Mhm.
And now it's looking like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever gonna find a man, or don't look like it's any good man, and or everybody's effeminate, or they don't know what they want, or and so women are feeling like they're running out of time. And then you
Mhm.
add Corona to it. It's like, I
Yeah,
ain't never gonna meet no man. Like,
yeah.
we stuck in the house, we can't go nowhere. And when we get out of here, I don't know if he gonna have the coronas. I think there's a level of pressure
Yeah.
that women have, who are single, especially those of us who are older. We're women of a certain age and we're still
Mhm.
single. And we get into these situations just not knowing. And I think you said it right. Your book is definitely a resource, like a little resource manual
Mhm.
that you meet somebody, you go pick up
Mhm.
your little book. And like me, I got it on Kindle, and I go look and say, hold on a second, let me see if he he might sound like a thug man. I don't know. It's
And
good.
if I can say something real quick, what you said
Go
just
ahead.
a second ago, that time frame, a lot of times women, they get that time frame of their biological clock along with what people have said they're going to run into their husband every year. Every January somebody gets prophesied your husband is coming this year. And so their focus comes so much on, are you the one, are you almost the one? I said, you don't want no almost, you want it to be the, you don't want
Go.
just a word, you want the word that's for your life. You want
Mm,
the man for your life. And so if you get an almost, your attention is in the almost, that you'll miss the one, pass right by, because you got tied up in the things that kept telling you, pull on back, shut it down, lock, chank, chank. No, don't give him none. No, don't let him spend no night. No, cut your Netflix account off this time. All that,
just cut it
all of
off.
that, all that kind of stuff. Ain't no Hulu going on. Ain't no Netflix. Ain't no YouTube channel. You not finna grunge off me, because that's a lot of what the thug man has the tendency to do. He tends to give orders while doing less in return, because he doesn't have to. He give us some money every now and then. He'll leave you 40 on the nightstand. But
Mm,
as, as far as getting him into that place of matrimony, a lot of times most of them aren't ready for that. And because they already got this lifestyle of, I'm going to do it how I want to do it, those women thinking they can change him, thinking that they can help him down the aisle, he's going further and further away, while still the woman is still attracted to him, thinking that,
right.
well, I don't invested 12 years. Let me just say this real fast, and then I'm gonna shut up.
Please.
But listen,
You're not gonna shut up. We talking good tonight.
but when you invest so much of yourself in a man that has not invested back, then you have at some point got to realize that you are losing your heart behind somebody that's not ready or don't want to give. They already know they got you. Thug men go hard in the paint. Most thug men go hard in the paint in the
Mhm.
relationship. They tell you what they gonna do and what they not gonna do. That's attractive because of the testosterone. It's unattractive because your voice is never heard.
Mhm.
And then they're able to be the cleanup man as well. Got to know what I'm
Uh,
talking about.
I
They're
know
able to
what
be
you.
the,
I know what
yeah,
you're talking.
they're able to be the cleanup man. So that leaves you more connected to them on top of that, because if I can be 100, a lot of women really like to be handled a little bit physical in the bedroom, because they like to feel that man's strength.
Mm-hmm.
That not too much, but
What
enough
you saying?
to, yeah, where he can handle himself.
Uh-huh.
And that's an attractive quality, is a man with power that knows how to talk, he knows how to handle himself, and he's strong. Let me say this real fast. Don't let the quote good man fool
Uh-huh.
you, because anybody can be a good man if you just paying bills, and if you laying, if you if you can lay the wood and you can give the word. Don't you know
Oh,
don't 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 I'm trying to, I told you we already had this talk,
we
because I
good.
told you.
Listen, I give you permission to
Okay.
just speak the truth.
Okay. You
Did
got to
you
be
just
careful.
say you lay the word and speak the word?
Yeah.
Equals in some people's mind that equals good man.
Yeah, they think that because he pay bills, and because he do this and because he do that, and he's taking care of you on just one level, that this makes him a good man. That don't make you no good man if your integrity stank.
Mm,
It don't make you no good man if he always lying to you about, I gotta work late, but he ain't
mm.
got no job.
Where you going to work?
Yeah, what you doing? And see, if you got to be suspicious, I always tell women this: look at a man's integrity.
Uh-huh.
Does he do what he say he gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Those are good signs. If he start off that way and then he stop, you got to know that there are red flags about to show. Because I've been courting a lady for 3 years now. For those
Uh-huh.
women that say that men don't want to wait long, I've been courting a woman for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And for 3 years, I have pursued, I have dated. I can count on one hand. This is not bragging, and she'll tell you. But I can count on maybe one hand how many times I've let her pay for dinner because I'm old school.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
old school too. I feel you.
yeah, so I tell women and I tell my daughter this. I said, hey, leave your wallet at home. Thought, well,
Mm-hmm.
she a gold digger. Was no, she is a gold digger, a GOAL digger. She got
Right.
dreams. She's got direction. She's got drive for something that she wants. And so, yeah, if he's got to waste a lot of money to get that ring on the finger, then that's what it takes. Because it took
Right.
Jacob 14 years. So
To
don't
get
tell me that. Come on, it
to
took
get
him
no to get the one.
to get the one. So don't say that a man don't want you. No, what's happened is women have made themselves so available because they've elected to be the side chick. They've
Mm-hmm.
elected to be the one in waiting for this pastor to leave his wife, like he said. They waiting on this man to leave his wife, as he said. Are we going through problems? We going through
Journeyman,
separation.
let me interrupt here, Journeyman, because I have got to address a word that you look at you. You see me, I done caught back up in here now. I done leaning back. Because you used a word that I think is really important, because I just had a conversation in a group about, and we're not going to talk about this, but about abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the word you just used just now, I think is very important for women to own. You said they elect to, which
Mm-hmm.
means they make a decision to wait. They make a decision to deal with
Yes,
certain
ma'am.
people. They choose. And I think a lot of times many women like to sit in the place of victimhood. Like they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have no choices. Now, there are
Mm-hmm.
certain situations when you're a little girl and you're being molested or something like that, or you got some nut out there who wants to, who want to rape women or whatever, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
different. We're not talking about
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm
Right.
talking about an adult woman who makes a conscious decision
Mm.
to enter into a relationship where there are red flags everywhere. And then all of a sudden, woe is me. You don't know what happened. Yeah. No, you elected. I had to stop and
It's okay.
pinpoint that word
Yeah.
because it's spot on.
And that's the reason why they're putting up with what they're putting up with now for 5 years, 10 years, and waiting on this man to change. Listen, it didn't take him long to get you in that bed, so it don't take him long to change. That's just
Mm-mm.
100. People change because they want to change for the relationship. If they don't want to change and they say, I got to let myself heal, but I know a lot of men will use that. I'm not ready for commitment. I need to heal first. Well, what is you doing with somebody if you need to heal?
Tell it.
Why is you trying to take me to your rehab programs when you the one that don't know how to walk right?
Mm.
Why why am I wasting my time, my energy on somebody that said I need more time? No, you don't. Man, I already know. For the most part, he already know what he's looking for. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
matter of why is and some women say, well, why is he holding on to me if he don't want to marry me? You the closest thing to what he's been looking for, but you
Woo.
still ain't it.
Mike, you know what? So there's a gentleman by the name of James Lampkin. He is
Mhm.
the host of Conversations with Lamp, and he and I had a conversation, and the title of his episode is "Are You Special to Him?" And what he says is that that woman's got to be special to that man. There's something about that woman that is
Mhm.
so special to him that he does not want to live without her. Like when he
Absolutely.
looks at it, when he puts everything out, he's like,
Mhm.
you know what? I can't see doing this thing without
But
this
I,
woman. And he says sometimes it's hard for people, it's hard for women to get it, but maybe it's just that you just wasn't that special to that man.
yeah,
Oh, that's
and
a hard thing to hear.
it is. And you know what? A lot of times women will say, or men, mostly women will say, well, I'm just not good enough. No, it's not that you're not good enough. It's just that what your good is doesn't fit his enough.
Ooh. Hold up. You just messed me up right there. That needs that's tweetable right there. Somebody need to tweet that.
Go
That's
ahead.
Mr. Alvino Bell. Y'all need to tweet that. He said it's just that your good doesn't match up with his enough. Oh my, you said a whole word right
It,
there.
it, it's not that y'all are not. It's not that you're beneath his standard. It's just you don't fit for his life. You're not the enough that he needs to when somebody is full. Thank you, Lord. When somebody is full, when you don't eat a good meal and they try and bring you a piece of pie or something, like, no, I can't eat that right now. I'm full.
I'm full.
That's the right woman. The woman will be for a man like, no, I don't seen enough. I don't seen enough legs, and I don't seen enough breasts, and I don't seen enough wigs, and I don't seen enough weave, and I don't seen enough French rolls. I don't seen enough of that I don't want any more of that appetite. And so now you go on a keto diet with the one that you with.
Right.
You go on a strict diet for saying I will only eat from this table here.
Uh, listen. So I think this is a really good segue into the next man that I want us to talk about. And listen, everybody, those of you who are listening or if you're watching, Catch 23 is an amazing little book. You need to grab it. Y'all know me, I already got mine. There are 23 catches, if you will, in this book. And we're not going to explore all 23 of them. We just don't have enough time. But there were some that I just really wanted to highlight because they're ones that I think a lot of the women that I know and deal with, they really deal with these particular ones, right? But I'm
Mhm,
sure if you read the entire thing, you
mhm.
could probably say you know somebody who matches all 23, you know. So
Yeah.
let's take a look at the godless man. Because see,
Ooh.
I deal with a lot of church women.
Mhm.
So the godless man, it says the next man we look at is the godless man. When you think about this man, think of the biblical term unequally yoked. This means being in a relationship where there is no agreement concerning God. For those ladies that are in the Lord, serving the Lord, worshiping Him on a regular, you know the word of God. You have a prayer life. My question is this: what could a man that's not even closely connected to God in any form really do for you? I'm gonna just throw my phone. Listen. We could just go home. We could just go home right now. Whew. Please talk to us about the godless man. I think that's self-explanatory, but I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you drop a couple more jewels on this one.
Listen, a lot of times the women in God will
Mm-hmm.
fall for a man that doesn't even have anything to do with God on a couple of different reasons. Either they're fed up with fake men of God and just want something more natural, or there is no options for any godly man, so they just have to go back to what we just said, that good man quality. And at
Mm-hmm.
some point in your relationship, God is going to begin to speak to you.
Right.
But if he's the head of the marriage, your direction is going to be completely off all the time because you're going to keep seeing the family go one way and he going to be like, well, whatever you want to do, baby, or you want to do ministry. And don't get me wrong, the godless man may not be into church or go to church, but some of them will say, well, baby, you need some money for ministry. I give you money, but
Mm.
you don't want that when you want to have conversations at IHOP with the about the Lord. You can't talk to him about the Lord. And he's like, well, I got my own relationship with God. That I call them templates because that's a lot of excuses. He's
Oh.
not even, and he's not trying to come to church. He's not trying to come on Friends and Family Day. So that he's already showing you that he's an enemy. He's not
Mm.
trying to come to any types of appreciation functions. He's not trying to be involved or incorporated. Well, no, that's your God thing. You go there, and then when you get ready to come out of God and come back to me, that's what I want to see from you. That's
Mm.
and that's what he's looking for. He's looking for his natural needs to be met, whatever that natural is. So this can create a problem. And I've talked to several women that have been in relationship with godless men, and it generally boils down to they want a meal and they want some wet.
Ooh. Just basic. Just
They
basic.
want you to come by the house and clean. They want you to come lay up with them. And they just want little stuff like that done. They want what we would call the typical woman duties
Mm.
to be done because there's nothing else you can praying for him. He don't really care about you doing that because he ain't. It's like, yeah, you can do it if you want to. Because when you're in that godless place, it's not to say that he don't want to have anything to do with God, but he don't have enough to do with God to go forward with you in God.
Oh.
Don't get it twisted. It's not saying that he don't believe in God and he don't have some church background, but he doesn't have enough for what it is that most women are looking for from a man of God. They're looking for a man that can pray, a man that at least know what Genesis 1:1 is. They're looking for a man that may have had some encounters with God on some level or something that would connect them so that they can keep holding on to him. Because he does take care of the home, and that's what keep him. That would keep him there. He does know how to treat them. So on the natural side, so that keeps him there. But then when we get ready to start talking about God and you God give me a great word in prayer, I can't go and get excited with that. He's gonna be like, oh, that's good, baby.
Mm.
That's cool. That's good. That's what's up. That thing there and that right there out on a long course will really begin to tear at your spiritual walls because you will spend, and I say this a lot, if you got to be the one that's always doing the teaching, then you have a student. You don't have a mate.
My goodness. If you are the one always doing the teaching, you do not have a mate, you have a student.
Yeah,
And
because
what woman wants to to have a student for a husband? Who wants that?
see, and he loving your body. And he can take care of this natural side, but your spirit man is crying out for a man to stand in the gap with you. He can't even see the enemy coming. So you can
Mm.
get hit all upside your head, ladies.
Right.
Enemy gonna be
Right.
tearing you up.
Right. He's
So,
not trying he's not trying to pray for you, pray for the marriage, pray for the children. He's not interceding for anything. He's not you can't even touch and agree on nothing because he's not there.
nothing.
And I
I, and
think
I,
that's a good example of the flip side of
mhm,
when his good doesn't
mhm.
match your enough. So we
Yeah,
we want to look at it the other way, right? And we think
yeah.
it's a bad thing when it's flipped to the man and the woman. But when you think about what needs to be enough for you to stay on the straight
Hmm.
and to trust God and to live the way God wants you to do. Yeah, he may be a good man, but his good, it don't line up with
Don't
yours.
know.
That's that flip side, right?
And you're gonna be hungry, man. I mean, you're gonna be hungry spiritually, and
Mm,
you're gonna literally be tired of warring because he's there to protect a lot of the things that you're getting hit with. Now, if you're single, God is your protector. But when a man comes into your life for marriage, God relinquishes like a father gives his daughter
mhm.
to the man. That's what God does with a lot of his protective duties when it comes to a husband is he relinquishes a lot of that mantle upon the
Oh,
husband because you say you got my daughter.
right.
So
Oh,
he
that's good.
so he takes on that mantle. He takes on now I know God is the keeper, but when
Right.
you get into marriage, God gives a lot of that authority, the insight, the foresight, the warning. I like to say it like this: that men are the watchmen and they are the intercessor. When I say
Uh,
that, they go before the woman in intercession, but then they can also stand behind them and oversee what's coming at their lives as well.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? When the woman is in the front, he's allowing her to use her gifts, and he's watching over her as she disperses her virtue. The Proverbs 31. He stands behind her to watch to make sure that don't no enemy come and attack her while she's using her glory. He's
Mhm.
protecting her glory while she's in front. When he's in front of her, he's standing in protection for any arrows that may try and come and attack the family.
Right, right. Oh, listen, I almost feel like I really do feel like we're going to end up having to do some kind of part two. If you are listening to Speak Up Sis podcast and you've got questions, please leave me a voice message. Ask your questions. I believe I'm going to have Mr. Bell to return to Speak Up Sis podcast and talk a little bit more about some of these catch 23s and be able to answer some of the questions that you all may have. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Those of you who are actually watching this live, and shout out again to you for being the guinea pig for me to test out this video
Enjoying it.
podcast. I appreciate you. Any of you that are actually watching live, you can type in your questions and we'll see if we can get some of those questions answered right here while we're live. But there's one last catch 23 that when I saw the name of it, I was like, huh? But then when I started reading, I was like, okay, I get it. And this is the postponed man.
Mm.
He's common, isn't he? Isn't he common? Oh my goodness. He is so common. So let me help y'all out with this one. The
Woo.
postponed man is a man that you're in a relationship with that makes excuses to avoid moving forward in the relationship. This man frequently hangs out with you, kick it, Netflix and chill, have sex, and hangs with your family sometimes. But he never ever identifies completely that you two are together, nor will he actually admit it, simply because admitting that would mean that he is saying that he's no longer on the market. He makes every excuse in the world and tells you every reason why the relationship shouldn't be, while at the same time holding on to you as a spare tire for his life. Okay, school us on the postponed man. Got your life all the way on hold.
The postponed man is the one that continues to say, "Well, let's do this. Let's wait a little bit. Well, I
Mm,
got to make sure I got to get my money together. I got to take care of this first. Once I pay this off, then we can get married. And but you know what? Even the postponed man will go as far as even proposing to delay getting married. Now,
Oh,
people say, now how is that possible? Because after so long, a woman that's ready to get married will start to say, well, when are you gonna give me a ring? When are you gonna finally tie the knot with me? When are you gonna finally? When are you gonna finally? And that right there pushes him. He don't want to let you go, but he
mhm.
want to shut you up.
Oh,
And
he
so,
don't want to let you go, but he want to shut you up. Okay,
absolutely.
before you continue with that, I gotta ask you this.
What's up?
Why doesn't the postponed man want to just let you go? Why not just let you go?
It goes back to that last man is that you have a lot of something that you are providing, whether it's the coupon.
Did
I
you
got a
say
test. I got a
coupon?
portion. I got a portion in that book that says no coupon needed, and you got to go back and read that portion. But in short, is when you keep handing out vouchers for yourself
Oh,
of providing yourself as wife. We got a lot of wife interns in the
did you say
world.
wife intern?
Wife intern. That means you don't have a job, so you're doing all the wife labor for free.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm. You're a
Yeah,
wife intern. I've never heard, I don't think I've ever heard anyone call it being you interning.
yeah, yeah. Basically, it's just basically you trying the part out because you keep trying to show him that you're a capable wife, but he ain't trying to show you that he's a qualified husband.
Mm.
He does nothing that shows you, oh, because he changed your tires and because he vacuumed your car every other Saturday, that make him a husband? No, a husband. I got another book that I'm working on called If He Love You, and it's about 12 things that I did. I did like 12 or 13 videos on if he love you, he's patient, he's passionate, he provides, he
Uh-huh.
has provisions. It's about 13, and God just kind of kept dropping them on me, and then it's turning into a book. And in one of the things I'm displaying that when he really loves you, he has this that shows you what makes him a husband. A lot of
Mm.
times we don't have a real definition of what a husband is because the only thing we see is we the head of the church and that the Lord is head of the man, and you know the scripture. I'm just kind of
Uh-huh. I
yeah,
got you.
you know, and so that because he's the head, that's the only thing that we got to go off of. But in the long run, if he's really the head, he's gonna be the less that makes him the head
Mm.
because he's going to be the first to humble himself. He's going to
That's
be the
right.
first to be beneath. He's not going to demand you address him as the head.
Right.
He doesn't have to because when you're really humble and you're really serving, you automatically do it.
Yes.
Because a postponed man is not going to give you any implication. He don't want to talk about marriage. He don't want to talk about a whole lot of being around your family a lot because the more he around your family, the more he gonna have to deal with why y'all ain't married yet. So he'll
Mm.
come around for a little bit, but he won't come around all the time. You got
Right.
to pay attention to how he's handling when y'all talk about relationship. Because a man that's ready to get married to you is talking about, man, I can't wait for us to get our house. I can't wait till we start doing this, till we start preparing for Thanksgiving together, till we have our Christmases. You know,
Right.
that's a man that's ready to get involved and go forward in family.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody that ain't ready for family, they ain't talking family. They talking about, man, I can't wait for this next Madden to come out, or ah man, I got to go get online with the boys for a little bit. And you know, they talking about fixing their cars up and they talking about other stuff. They gotta get these new J's that's coming out. You know, all of that. That ain't no man with no plan for no future with you. That's a man that's talking single talk.
Yeah.
And and you get caught up in that single conversation thinking he gonna change who he is. You ain't got to change who he is. He already come talking about future. Now don't get it twisted. Got to be careful. You got to be careful because some of them will start off talking about a future, and they don't even got better. They come with a 5 year plan now because now more women are asking for that 5 year
Right.
plan. So he'll come with some little bologna sandwich on. Yeah, he come with that. He'll come with a little fried bologna, like, oh yeah, 5 years I want to go back to school. This that. But listen, bro, you ain't already. It don't take you 5 years to go back. That's that postpone. He's
Right.
always looking for ways to delay.
To
He's always
delay.
looking for to ways to delay. Why? Well, let me just stay on course. He's always looking for ways to delay while he's laying the D.
Right.
So,
Right.
and people say, man, he sure talk a lot about sex because for most men, that's what it's mostly about.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah,
When you
it's
take
it's
all
about
out, when you take all the other garbage out, a man who is not serious about this particular woman, at the end of the day, it is boiling down to sex. If she ain't
absolutely.
the one, if she ain't the special one, if she's not the good for my enough, if
Yeah,
she isn't it, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. And I think that it's hard for a lot of women to accept that that is the truth. And I think it's hard because you got so many men out here who are
hmm
saying that's not the truth.
yeah, and
They're
because
like,
because
that's not true. That's not true. It is true.
but you know why it is? Because deep down inside, a lot of men women want to have sex too.
Oh, did you just go there? Did you
It's the
just go
truth.
there?
100. A lot of
Listen,
women.
did you just go there? Listen, don't you about to get people in their feelings now. Don't tell the women that they be trying to be all up into getting something too. Now, don't tell them that because they already don't like to take responsibility for nothing. They already want to play the victim. Please don't tell them that they like sex too, and that's partially why they getting stuck with the
They
foolishness.
they they use their commodity in hopes to get a contract long term.
I'm gonna drink some water right.
We a product of the environment. Oh Lord.
Listen, you talking good talk today.
It,
And
it,
just let
it,
me say this for for all of the people listening who um want to be what you use my word, my favorite word a little while ago, who want to be stank and and don't you don't want to deal with people who don't have certain titles and accolades and whatever. But let me tell you, it's some everyday women and men who are sharing words of wisdom, just straight gold mine nuggets to help you live a better, more fulfilled life, and who shared their stories to inspire yours.
yeah.
So I met this gentleman on Facebook.
Yes, we
I mean,
did.
I did, and
Yeah,
I was willing to step out there and spend a couple dollars on his book. And
I
when I got to
appreciate
read
that.
that book, I was like, yeah, he need to be on my show. Listen,
I
I
appreciate that.
got first dibs. The rest of y'all slow.
I appreciate it. I
They all
appreciate
gonna
it.
want you on their shows now.
I appreciate it. I've enjoyed this. I just want
Oh,
women to I want women to be smarter about that. I want women to be smarter because I was once a womanizer. That's the
mm,
reason why. And I'm 100, and I know what women want to hear. And I know what women like to hear. And they want to feel good, especially if you got a low self-esteem and you don't know who you are. You're an easy catch, baby. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't know who you are and you need a lot of approval from somebody else to compliment you all the time and you eat into a lot of attention, then you are an easy catch for a night. I promise you. And
mm,
some of y'all may say, nah, but like I said, women, a lot of women desire the same things. And when you start getting in your emotions, it ain't but a movie and some popcorn, and it's over.
Right.
So you got to be careful to stop, look, and listen. I use that a lot. Stop, look, and listen. The train. Stop your emotions. Look at what he's saying and listen to the direction that's coming inside of you, whether or not it's right or not. Because deception has a sound. And
Mm,
if it does not sound quite right, you got to pull yourself back in and just sit back and look and get a little quiet and let the man talk a little bit. Let him talk. And if he starts saying, "Why you ain't talking?" Say, "Oh, I just want to hear what's on your mind." If he say nothing, he's waiting on you to give him more information.
mm,
Giving you a tip, man, because I know we got things we want to talk about, but because you don't say I don't want to talk about that, we got to find something else. So how deep is this conversation if you can't talk about certain things that you have said we ain't talking about that? But he keep finding a way to ring it back around to that. No, we ain't talking about that. He gonna either drop the mic and walk away, or he gonna keep on trying till you say, okay, today is the day.
mm.
So
That's good. Yes, Erica said she said deception has a sound.
mhm,
That's golden. That
it
is
does.
golden. And I like what you said. If you ask, what are you thinking? And he ain't thinking of nothing. He just wants you to talk. I never really thought about that as being a red flag, as you fishing.
Yeah,
You
because
just
because
fishing.
because we trying to conform to what it is that you're looking for. So we'll ask questions about your last relationship, but we really don't care about the dude. What we care about is what the dude did and what we can do differently to
Mm,
not be that. So he could be a man beater to his heart, but because you said, man, the last man I was with used to beat me, he ain't gonna show no signs of that because he's got to conform to what he is so he can get the product that you have. Whether it's you giving him money, which I totally against any woman giving any man money for anything.
mm,
If you got to give Jody money to to do this and that, baby, let Jody find his life. Leave Jody alone. This man ain't got no job. He ain't thinking about working. He just want to ride around in your lifestyle, not your car, but your lifestyle, and
mm,
live off you, bro. Get back on child support. Pay for your kid. I'm hard on men. Get back on
mm,
child support. Pay your kids and take care of your life first before you try and get women and draw and suck the life out of them. That
mm,
irritates me to the fullest because I hate to see women just give so much to a man that ain't giving that. They have nothing. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. And you don't have no money. You stay with your mama, Jody. You ain't got nothing that you can
yeah,
offer me. Well, I don't been locked up. Listen, I don't see some locked up brothers get jobs and become supervisors and become owners. So I ain't trying to hear that as no excuse either. We make choices, we live with them, and keep rolling, baby.
right. I'm telling you that you just explained, I believe it's man nine in my book. I really do believe you just explained man nine. I'm telling you, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have this conversation with you. I do believe I don't even know how long we've been talking right now. I don't
I
know how long
told
this
you.
is, and but it's been so great. You have shared so much wisdom.
Appreciate
Um, a lot of times we talk about women sharing their story, right?
it.
And we
Mm,
just don't hear what the men have to say. But I say everybody's voice is necessary in the conversations. It just can't be one sided. And
yeah,
the way you say you are with men, you're like, I'm hard on men because you used to be that. So
yeah,
you know what it is. It's like, no, you can't play me because I've been here. I'm the same way when it comes to women. I'm hard
mhm,
on women. I
yeah,
mean, super hard on women. And it's
yeah,
because I've done all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't come to me with that slow talking out the side of your neck, because I
Mm-hmm.
know what it is. You know what I'm not you
Mm-hmm.
man who might give you a pass on some stuff or some
Yeah,
silly man. But when you come over here, you're gonna get the real raw truth. And I think it's important that men like you who have acknowledged, you've owned, and you've released that old you
mm-hmm.
and are able to share the truth of your story. I think it's important that men begin to do that just as much as women and hold other men accountable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That I think that's the one thing, and I'm trying not to give another tip out, but listen, if you and I think that's the blameless man. If I understand, I think that's the faultless man. The
Oh,
faultless man is yeah, he's the one that always find a way to blame you for everything. There's never you don't want nobody that never owns up to their own faults. They always got excuses and they always got reasons and all this other stuff why it ain't their fault. You don't want nobody that ain't gonna be accountable for their actions and their errors. They're already showing you who they are.
mm, Jesus. Listen, brother, keep doing what you're doing. I think there are not enough men who are doing what you're doing. There are some very famous, very popular men who give relationship advice, but it's all directed at the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And and I really think that there needs to be a sound that begins to be heard and is directed to men,
Mm-hmm.
um, that says, look, I know what you're doing. I know who you are. I don't need to talk to that one about this. No, let me and you, let's talk about what you're doing and why
Yeah,
you're doing it. And let's let you heal. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I definitely believe that that's a sound that needs to be heard. And it needs to come from a man.
absolutely. I agree.
It needs to come from a man, not a woman trying to tell a man what to do, but
Yeah,
men need to begin to hold their, their counterparts to the fire and say,
yeah.
no, come on, let's do better. So thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming into the space.
Enjoy it.
Do you have like one big powerful word of wisdom that you would like to leave the Speak Up Sis podcast? Listen, can you feel I don't want to let you go?
Yeah, I felt the cut off about 10, 15 minutes ago.
But I just can't let it go.
Yeah, cause you like, I don't know what time it is, and I said, yeah, we don't probably been on about an hour, at least an hour and some. So,
It's, it's been such a wonderful conversation. So
I've
listen,
enjoyed it.
give us one
Woo.
final, like this, like ladies, you need
Uh,
this one. Give that to
okay.
us.
Remember this: if a man wants to be with you, then let him lead you. When I'm saying let him lead you, that means allow him to be creative in everything that he do in the dating process. Allow him to pick the dates. Allow him to be creative. Allow him to lead. Listen, your job as a woman is just to be there and listen. And when he does what he does, then you respond from there. A lot of women want to lead and not let him lead. Let him
Mm,
lead and see where you go.
mm.
And then you'll know what you have or where you're going.
Then you can make a decision whether or not you want to continue going with it.
Exactly. Exactly. So
That's good. All right, Journeyman Bell 100. I see why you got the name now. Okay. Let the people know how they can get in contact with you.
um,
Um,
I'm on Facebook under Alvino Bell. I got a page of Bomb Ministry. I got a page on Keeping It 100 with Serving Bell. I'm also on Wife Chronicles with my sister Sherry Eden. So I'm on Instagram under Journeyman Bell as well, and got YouTube channel called Welcome to the Journey and Spotify podcast, Spotify podcast of Welcome to the Journey as well. We'll give 5-minute encouragements. to help you throughout your day. So I'm everywhere.
That's what's
Easy
up.
to
And I
find.
actually follow your podcast. I think the podcast is what sort of led me to the other pieces. Listening
Okay.
to the podcast. Yeah. So you all check his podcast out. And I want to also invite you to a new podcast group that Erica, I keep calling her Erica Ward, but her name is Erica Warren.
I
I'm
keep
sorry,
wanting to say words too.
Warren, not Ward, but she created a new podcast group. It's called the Pod Squad, and so I invite you to become a member of the Pod Squad if you're not already one. If you're in there, great. If you're not, come join us. I'm sure you got lots of wisdom to share with everyone in the group. All right. So I'd like to thank you once again. I appreciate you for coming into this space. It has been amazing. You got to
Enjoy
tell
it.
everybody right now while you're on that you're going to come back.
Absolutely. Love it. I love it. I enjoy the flow, and maybe I'll come back live again too. I might get you might bring me back
We'll have
live
to let
again.
people know that we're going to come live so that they'll come in and watch. We didn't kind of throw this out to everybody. It's just kind of testing it out.
Yeah.
But it works, and so most definitely we'll have to come back and do a live podcast again. So thank you so
Anytime you're
much.
ready, I'm ready.
I appreciate it. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to Speak Up Sis Podcast, where we share our stories to inspire yours. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye.
All right.